Here again with another Shameless Season 4 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important. If you aren't caught up to the point where I am and you're watching Shameless, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. This is my second time watching this show, and this will be Shameless Season 4, Episode 8. The title of this episode is called Hope Springs Paternal. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode last night. Fiona is laying in bed awake in the middle of the night, clock watching. Fiona finally gets up and dumps alcohol out that was in the fridge. Debbie can't wait to turn 16, according to the art project she has in her room, the poster layout. Debbie finally has gotten her period, so that means she's a woman. Fiona's happy for her. Fiona's also making cookies. I didn't know Fiona was a baker. Fiona's P.O. is coming to visit. Chucky's questioning Frank at Sheila's place about ways to make money for the surgery that he needs to prolong his life. And then Frank drops a bomb, a really smelly bomb, some major gas after a fart. Lip has Liam with him at work and gets a relatively hot chick's phone number just because he's essentially babysitting his brother while he's at work. Fiona goes through rooms and cleans out all the things that would make her look bad for the P.O., and then the P.O. has finally arrived. It's the same person that played Mrs. Davis on The Big Bang Theory. She needs a piss sample, and she has to watch. Ian wakes up, and Svetlana says he sleeps all day. While Ian is in the shower, she threatens him to leave as she's having a baby soon, and she needs all of Mickey's attention. Ian comes home. Fiona is super happy. It's almost like she thought she was seeing things, and he's really back for now. Fiona notices Ian is acting a bit different. Kermit and Kev talk about guns. Kermit says Kev needs a gun for every room in the house and every vehicle and every place he works at. Mickey tells Svetlana to shave her fucking muff as she's gotten a little hairy down there. Well, she's pregnant, so who really cares? But, oh well. And then Carl is suspended from school and needs a parent to come back with him on Monday, or he's suspended indefinitely. So he's essentially expelled if that doesn't happen. Sammy tells the family her and Frank are staying at Sheila's place, and he doesn't deserve to go out like this, Sammy says. She wants everybody to come there, and not everybody's that happy about it, especially Fiona and Lip. Mickey agrees to suck Ian's cock, or Ian's dick, whenever he wants. Like, this is Ian taking charge of Mickey. Sammy comes up with a scam to sell Sheila's house, and Frank says, you really are Gallagher. Like, they'll ask for money up front. It's like kind of like a, we'll show you the house if you give us money up front and then pull it sort of thing. Fiona's searching the house for any money she can find, and she's smoking a shit ton of cigarettes and cannot sleep. And then she goes outside and sees how far she can go. I don't think that was actually the purpose, but that's what ended up happening before her ankle bracelet started going off. And then Mandy Melkovich comes over and tells Mickey Svetlana's water broke. Let's go. Debbie calls Fiona a bitch because Fiona ruined Debbie's art project that she took a lot of time to come up with. And then Carl tells Fiona to get off his ass. So Fiona is essentially annoying everybody at the moment. Carl asks Frank to come to school with him, and Sammy says Frank is in no condition to go anywhere. Sammy gives Debbie some pads because of her period, as she's not ready for the tampon just yet. Fiona starts cleaning like a crazy person until she hears a knock at the door, and it's Robbie, Mike's brother. He said, Mike told me, and then Fiona starts to realize that Robbie only came over to know if she ratted him out. And Fiona says she should have, and then shuts the door on Robbie. I didn't even remember seeing Robbie. I thought that was the last we saw of him, the episode where he dropped off the coke. I don't know if we see him again, but it was a quick, nice way. I wish we'd see Mike again because Mike was a very underrated character. But she shuts the door in his face because V arrives, and V brings the vodka. And then we have an open house at Sheila's place. Kev meets with a guy with a bunch of guns, very powerful guns. And Fiona says nobody needs her anymore. And V says, you got to concentrate on yourself. You need to focus on you. And Lip comes home and smells something burning. And Fiona and V, because they were drinking, forgot about whatever the hell they had in the oven. It was smoking really bad. How they didn't smell that beats me. But whatever. And then Lip, of course, freaks out. Burn the house down, why don't you? And then Lip points out all the things wrong that Fiona has done, and then takes Liam and actually takes Carl with him. Like, you're not watching kids anymore. You're unfit to watch kids. Wow. Kev shows up and tells V that Carol, her mom, is in labor, and she wasn't responding to messages he was sending her. And then Liam takes... Sometimes I put stuff because I'm trying to type and watch an episode at the same time, but I put down Liam takes Carl with him. That was supposed to be Lip taking Carl and Liam with him. Fiona throws something at the smoke alarm because that's going off, and then screams, ah! Because of Lip and like all the things that have gone wrong with her lately. And then Ian's dancing at the club, and Mickey's there watching and threatening people if they touch Ian. And then Ian and Mickey make out at the club. And that's very significant because that's the first time that they've showed that Mickey's afraid to come out of the closet, essentially. He's trying to be this hard-ass guy that, he's, gay. And he just sees everybody else around, like everybody else here is gay. Why not, So he makes out with Ian. And that was a pretty good moment. I'm starting to like Mickey more. I didn't like him in my initial watch of the show, especially towards the end. But I'm actually liking him more than I did before. So maybe my opinion will change on Mickey. And then Sammy paints Debbie's toenails. She tells Debbie to act like she doesn't give a shit to Maddie. Or is it Matt? Or she just calls him Maddie, her boyfriend that she wants to be her boyfriend. But he doesn't want anything to do with because she's, young. And then Sammy tells Debbie she loves having a sister. And I like Sammy too. I know she doesn't last long here, but I'm enjoying Sammy as well. Lip lets Carl go to a college party. And Carl says, college rules. So Fiona didn't do anything wrong with Carl other than the fact that she was cooking something and forgot about it. But yet Lip can let Carl go to a college party where there's a lot of shit that's going on. And yet Fiona's the bad guy. I think they, I don't know. And then Ian takes Mickey to what I would think is some sophisticated party he was invited to by, other gay people. And a guy there asks Mickey a bunch of questions like, what do you do? I'm really into that. What was that? Oh, you're a pimp. It's a pretty funny moment. Yeah, I'm a pimp. He's a little unsure of like what to say, but he eventually goes with it. And now we have Fiona home alone telling everybody goodnight, even though they're not there. Like she walks by each of the rooms. Good night, Frank. Good night, Liam. Good night, Carl. Good night, Lip. Good night, Debbie. And she starts to cry laying in Liam's bed. And then Amanda gets out of her man's bed. That's Lip's roommate's girlfriend. And starts giving Lip a blowjob. And Carl is laying on the floor sleeping and sees this. He's like, oh, awesome. He's in awe of his brother. And then Carol has had her baby boy, and V wants to let her mom keep the baby, but Kev wants to keep it for them. They already got two on the way. Carol will be a good mother. Let her keep the baby, is what V says. And Kev's like, man, I already lost one baby because the other babies ate it. I don't want to lose another one. But yeah, it's hard arguing with a woman in that scenario. And then Fiona calls Lip. I'm actually surprised that Lip answered and says she just needs her family back. You don't have to point out this, this, and this. I need my family back. Mickey wakes up in the morning and a guy asks him if he just met Ian last night or if he is together. And Mickey says together, and he's like, good catch. Ian's very well liked amongst that community, and we'll get into that in season, 8, with the whole gay Jesus thing, which I thought was a ridiculous angle for Shameless. But like I said, the quality of this show eventually gets a little shitty, but I'm enjoying it right now at least. And then Frank actually was able to go to Carl's school with him, along with, of course, Sammy. And they want to, find out. And Frank makes a good point about all the bullying that Carl's doing to these kids is going to make them better people in the long run. They're going to be successful people while Carl's going to be the one that's going to be picking up garbage on the side of the road. No offense, Carl, what Frank says to him. And I think it was the principal lady, it might have been just a teacher, but the principal or a counselor, administrator, kind of thinks he has a point there. So Frank went crazy with his knowledge. He's been pretty much very lackadaisical and very out of it, snapped into Frank mode and came up with that. And then we have Kev, who goes to the alibi and says we lost him to Kermit and Tommy. And they feel bad because they're like, hey, how's the baby? And he's like, well, Carol kept him. And they're like, oh, okay. And then Kev says he's going to start collecting survival gear due to the fact that he lost 2 babies now. Prepare and prevent. But that was kind of Kermit's line. Debbie and Maddie were playing an arcade game. And Maddie asks her after they're done with that if he wants to go grab pizza. Or if she wants to go grab pizza. And remembering what Sammy had told her, she tells him she has a date tonight. So making him feel jealous and blowing him off, but they're still cool. Fiona wakes up and Liam is next to her. And Lip is sitting on the bed. Fiona is just, she's so happy to see Liam right now. And Fiona says thanks, and Lip says no problem. So Lip thought about things. He's like, I've been too hard on my sister. And then we do have a mid-credits scene where I think it was the principal at the school, administrator, teacher, whatever you want to call her. She's asking Carl what we've learned. And Carl repeats, bullying is bad for society. It must be stopped. And that's what ends this episode of Shameless. So pretty good stuff in this episode. I really liked the whole Lip thing. Lip is trying to wear too many hats. And it's going to overwhelm him eventually, but it doesn't at the moment. And Fiona's just doing dumb thing after dumb thing, and she can't do anything right all of a sudden when Fiona was the solid rock of the family. And then you have Frank, who is pretty awesome in what we saw of him. So I'm going to give the episode an 8.7 out of 10. My character of the episode for the females is going to be Fiona, because she was solid in this episode. Even though she was making mistakes left and right, baking something and not smelling it. I don't know what happened there. And then our male character of the episode, it probably should have been Lip or maybe even Carl. But I'm going to give it to Frank just due to how he took charge at the school and painted that picture of what's going to happen with these kids versus Carl. That was excellent stuff. So enjoyed the episode. Really liking season 4 thus far. You've heard what I have to say. Now, it's your turn if you're a fan of Shameless and want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm. Make sure you Hulk smash that like button. Share the video with a friend. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms if you deem it something that you would want to share. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to click here. Don't forget to click right here to check out my Shameless series finale rant video, assuming you've seen every episode of Shameless. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special, and JDev will return.